What up, football family? Dan Helly, Lindsey Rhodes here with you. Less than 3 days away from kicking off the postseason, and the smack talk has already started in Nashville. We're going to have more on that coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, first though, all 8 teams playing this weekend were on the field today, though the Bills were missing a rather important piece. Their leading rusher and pass catcher, LaShawn McCoy, who did not practice today because of a sprained ankle from Sunday that will likely leave him as a game-time decision for the Bills' first playoff game in 18 years.
It'll be tough. Of course, he's a special part of our offense, but at the same time, it's football. People get injured, and we have to have guys that step up. Will it be more workload for me? Probably so. And I take on that opportunity to go out there and still put our team and our offense in a good situation to win.
Bills the road team in the early game on Sunday. Panthers the road team in the late game. They will be in New Orleans, where they lost by double digits just 5 weeks ago. One of 2 games they lost to the Saints this year in the regular season. Carolina has never played New Orleans in the postseason before, and according to Cam, that changes everything.
This is when the real football starts. He's explaining it to the young guys or the guys that haven't, witnessed, playoff football yet. This is where you're made or broke. And, I look forward to these type of moments because it brings out the best in the individual, because there's so much pressure. And we all know what they say about pressure does one or two things. And, we're hoping to shine like diamonds on Sunday.
I think overall they've been pretty consistent, I think every team, just like us, you probably look back on a few of those games and, wish you would have done a thing or two different, or felt like there was a play or two that would have made the difference. But, bottom line is we're here right now. We're both in the playoffs. We're hosting them. Should be a good game.
The second season underway in New Orleans and in Charlotte, where Tiffany Blackman joins us now with a few other ways that this matchup might play out differently than the first 2.
Well, Lindsey, quarterback Cam Newton, he's going to face Marshawn Lattimore for the first time since Lattimore missed those 2 previous games with injury. Newton says he plays with a lot of juice and that being a Pro Bowler speaks volumes. Look, per Pro Football Focus, Lattimore has the second lowest passer rating allowed by a corner this season. And look, he's helped turn this Saints defense around. That is something that receiver Russell Shepard talked about. He noted that the Saints are more taking on the back end with Lattimore in the lineup. He said that you don't quite often see a rookie playing press man-to-man on third downs, and that says a lot about the Saints' trust in him. He also noted that Lattimore is going to be matching up with Devin Funchess. Funchess, of course, has been playing quite well for the Panthers. He led them with 840 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns this season. And, of course, if the Saints try to take him out of the game, the Panthers have plenty of other weapons to get that ball to, like tight end Greg Olsen, who, Lindsey, didn't play in those first 2 games with that broken foot.
Yeah, Greg Olsen's returned big for the Panthers, averaging 92 yards per game in his last 5 games against the Saints. Thank you, Tiffany.
Take a look at the numbers. Cam Newton, Drew Brees, 2 games this year. Cam 0-2 against Drew, and you can see the numbers across the board. Much better for the older Drew Brees. Speaking of older, let's bring in our Hall of Fame quarterback, Kurt Warner. I kid because I love. I'm wondering, Kurt, if there's more pressure on Drew Brees because he is older and the window is smaller for him now, or if there's more pressure on Cam Newton.
Well, make no mistake, Dan, that there's pressure on every quarterback come playoff time. And the quarterback position is going to have to play well if you're going to advance and make a run for the Super Bowl. But I'm going to say the pressure's more on Cam Newton. Now, if you're looking at the window to win championships, well, of course, maybe Drew. But I'm just looking at this scenario and the way these 2 teams have played this year. And Carolina just doesn't have the pieces around Cam Newton to think that he can have an off game and they're going to win. When you look at New Orleans, they've obviously got those 2 backs. The last time these 2 teams played, those 2 backs accounted for 240 yards. So there's a lot of pieces there that can alleviate that pressure off of Drew Brees. And if he doesn't have quite as good a game, they can still win because they have more pieces. For Carolina, Cam has to play well, has to make plays both with his arm and his feet if they're going to advance.
It's a great point. There obviously are some pieces there in McCaffrey and Olsen and Funchess, but in that receiving core outside of Funchess, not a whole lot of household names there. And if Cam doesn't play like we know Cam can, then they may not have a chance. All right, Kurt Warner, thank you very much.
Off is under center, strong right. He launches. Sammy Watkins, far sideline. He made the catch! Are you kidding?
Hey, you know how many points we averaged a game?
And with that touchdown, LA has already exceeded its point total from all of 2016.
Robert Woods is a man on fire.
Left side, Gurley on the screen, 20. Todd Gurley hits the Jets midfield.
He's gone.
Gurley for MVP.
Let's go! They see that they can't block us in the pass rush.
Donald and Quinn go back-to-back with LA sacks. Here comes the pressure for the Rams. Tremaine Johnson picks it off. Pick six, LA!
When you find a way to come on the road, finish up your road record, 7-1, and win a division, there's only one thing you can say.
Rams are back in the playoffs for the first time since 2004 with the league's #1 scoring offense and a historical advantage that appears to go along with that. The last 8 teams to lead the league in scoring all made it to the divisional round or further in the playoffs, including last year's top-ranked offense, Atlanta, which happens to be traveling to LA this weekend.
You know, the Falcons, I mean, we know obviously the quarterback was the MVP last year. They've got 2 really good running backs. The offensive line is really good. They've got maybe the best receiver in the league. So, you know, and I think they're playing well. They've kind of hit their stride here at the end of the year as far as their offense is concerned.
They front 7, you know, up front. They're pretty good. You know, they're really good up front. We can get after the secondary that they have over there, but you know, it's on us. You know, we just got to have that mentality, go into the game, be aggressive, and you know, make plays when they present themselves.
For more on the Rams, Omar Ruiz is in Inglewood, where LA hopes to be hosting lots of playoff games in the future.
Thank you, Lindsay. Construction well underway, still on track for a summer of 2020 opening. Excitement building here. Excitement also building for the Rams hosting that playoff game against the Falcons on Saturday night. Jared Goff about to face this Falcons team for the second time in his career. They didn't play him this season, but played him last year. These players are familiar with that personnel. Sean McVay hasn't coached against a Dan Quinn defense since the 2015 season, but they are familiar with the style and the scheme. They have faced 7 times this season somebody from that Pete Carroll coaching tree, someone with the Seahawks in the division they are very familiar with.
Willie McGinnis and Sean O'Hara with us now for more on this game. A good game in a number of different ways.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Willie, help us focus. What is the matchup to watch here?
Well, when you're matching up against a good team like the Rams, you want to take away one thing, and that's the MVP candidate, Todd Gurley. You got to take him away. So the matchup is the Atlanta Falcons linebackers versus Todd Gurley. So I'm going to take you to week 5 when they play Seattle. And this is the way you got to take him out of the game or eliminate him. First of all, look at back. He's going to play the position of Campbell or Deion Jones. Set the edge. Frank Clark's doing a good job of pushing the line of scrimmage, but pursuit to the ball, making a big splash, getting to the play. And then look, 9 guys in the box. Now, that's by the Rams formation. They got those players. But I want to pause it right here and show you something. Look at the wall. Nowhere to go. The edge is set. Gurley has to stop his feet, stop the momentum. They're able to make a play. So the 2 things that those 2 teams had in common, athletic linebackers that can adjust, that can run, that plays tough in the front. So when we go to the Atlanta Falcons tape and I show you the similarities between the different linebackers and the players, here's Deion Jones. What's Gurley's biggest play of the year? Is the 80-yard screen pass. Watch Deion Jones diagnose this play. Beat the blocker, get to it, he eliminates the enemy. He's out of the game. He's done. That's Kamara. That's not any other guy. Literally out of the game. And then here's Campbell. This is the Dallas Cowboys. Here's a simple take-2 draw. He comes up, gets behind the line of scrimmage, tackle for loss. And then most importantly, you got to be able to cover Gurley out of the backfield. Deion Jones wins the game. He's matched up with a tight end. They can do it on every single phase of the game. That's why I think it's a good matchup in Atlanta's favor.
Todd Gurley, the league's leader in scrimmage yards and touchdowns this year. So statistically speaking, he will be the best running back on the field this weekend. Yep. But will the Rams have the best running backs? Sean O'Hara, will you take us through the tail of the tape?
Ooh. What does that mean? Does that mean I get to walk?
You get to move.
And talk? Can you do them both?
So this is kind of like.
Oh.
Be cool.
He's getting comfy.
We're getting ready.
Be cool.
And in this corner, we got a couple of NFC teams battling to keep playing and to go on to get another game check in the divisional round of the playoffs. All right, the Rams taking on the Atlanta Falcons. I got my own little tail of tape. I threw in a couple of little different items down here in the bottom, but let's start off with the quarterback. Now, look, I know Sunshine, Jared Goff, he's having a great year. But guess what? The regular season, I said it yesterday on Total Access. Just like they said in the show, in the movie Meatballs, it just doesn't matter. To the postseason. I'm taking Matty Ice because he's been on fire. Last year in the playoffs, 9 touchdowns and not 1 interception. So he's going to go on a heater again. Now, running backs, Lindsay, you started off asking me about this. Devontae Coleman, right? That's a mixture of Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman.
Oh, there
Mix
you
them
go.
together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Combination.
Well, guess what?
There you go.
Perfect
You can call him
combination,
Devontae
Lindsay.
Coleman, or you could just call him Todd Gurley. So I'm going Gurley here with the Rams.
But Sean, isn't that plural? It says backs, not just back.
Yeah, but when you have Todd Gurley,
It doesn't matter.
Let's be honest. He should have been the NFL's leading rusher. He took the week off. So not only did he lead the team in receiving and rushing, but he led the NFL. All right, wide receivers, I got to go here. I mean, it stops with Julio, but when you sprinkle in Sanu, and yeah, I mean, look, I think that the fact that Gurley was their leading receiver as well, that kind of takes him out of consideration as much as I love Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. Pass rushers, game record, Aaron Donald.
Yep.
Defensive tackle, leads the NFL inside at sacks, quarterback hits, and 5 forced fumbles.
Beast.
Oh, yeah, he could wreck that game.
I like him.
Now, this right here could be the determining factor in the game. The special teams, all right? This is huge, the field shift, the momentum. I'm going to talk about a punter. Punters are people, too, huh? How about Hecker? 43-yard net punting. He's been the 3rd best punter this year, and then also Farrell Cooper, the Pro Bowl special team kickoff returner. He ran one back.
No Greg Zuerlein, though.
I see
Greg,
you,
the
Sean.
leg is not there, so
Nice walking.
the game could come down to a kick.
Way to go,
to a
big
kicker,
guy.
but you don't want it to. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Did I win?
I've got
TKO?
another edge. I've got another edge here. Falcons have the edge when it comes to
I'm on
players
wheels.
with playoff experience. Where are you going?
I'm on
36
wheels.
guys who have been there before compared to 6 for the Rams. There's only been one team in history that has that little playoff experience that has gone on to win the Super Bowl. Anyone know? They called their shot. Their quarterback called their shot.
Name it.
Broadway Joe.
1968.
Jets, of
Hey,
course.
ask Tony Richardson how to spell that Jets.
Dan.
The Titans have 35 players who have never been to the postseason before as they make the playoffs for the first time since 2008. On the practice field today, once again without DeMarco Murray, who seems like a long shot to be ready for the Chiefs on Saturday. Without Murray, that means another healthy dose of Derrick Henry, who carried the ball 28 times for just 51 yards against Jacksonville last week, a performance Henry himself called soft.
I could play a lot better. You know, wasn't really happy how I played, but we got the W. That was a main goal, and we got in. So, you know, just focus on getting better this week and being better than last week.
What can you do better?
You know, like a run harder, not create negative plays, be very detailed in the little things, and you know, and that's what I've been working on this week. Just trying to be better in every aspect I can be.
Well, that Titans playoff berth may have saved Mike Mularkey's job. Right now, there are 6 head coaching openings in the NFL, if we're including the Raiders, although we know that John Gruden will eventually end up with the Raiders. Ian Rappaport, what else can you tell us about what's going on with those openings?
Well, let's talk, Dan, about some of the key candidates here who are going to fill some of these openings. We'll start with one of the hottest every year, Josh McDaniels, the Patriots offensive coordinator at this point. He has 3 scheduled interviews. I'm told one is going to be with the Colts on Thursday, and then he's got the Giants and the Bears on Friday. Just considering the strength of these situations, this is expected to be the year that McDaniels comes out and becomes a head coach once again. Another hot candidate seemingly emerged out of nowhere, Steve Wilks. The Carolina Panthers defensive coordinator has 5 interview requests. Those are the Giants, Colts, Bears, Lions, and Cardinals. He seems at this point to be the belle of the ball. And then finally, Pat Shurmur, another coach similar to Josh McDaniels, who's looking for a chance to get back in, just as wanted the perfect opportunity. Will have all the opportunities this year. He has got the Lions and Cardinals. Those are set to happen on Thursday. And then he's got the Bears and the Giants on Saturday.
All right, Rap Sheet bringing us up to speed. Thank you, sir. As we mentioned, John Gruden still employed by ESPN. He's going to call the Titans-Chiefs game this weekend. Gruden did appear on the network's morning radio show with Mike Golick and Trey Wingo and reiterated what he said yesterday to Bay Area media about the Raiders opening.
I think there's a good chance. I'm excited about where I am in terms of studying the game and prepared to come back and coach. I just don't want to sit here and speculate, and it's almost like I don't know what's going to happen, Mike. I got to be honest with you. It's been a long couple weeks. I know they've gone through their process of interviewing candidates, and until they're done, I won't know, but I did have a good meeting with Mark. I've known him a long time and got a lot of respect for the Raider football organization.
Steelers offensive coordinator Todd Haley returned to the facility today after suffering a hip injury. That injury reportedly happened during an altercation at a Pittsburgh bar on New Year's Eve. There has also been some speculation that Haley, who is normally on the sideline, could have to call the game from